Right now, a federal trial date is set for the former Sun Prairie dean accused of child sex crimes.
And we're expecting pretty nice conditions over the weekend. Now the full forecast coming up.
Plus, sports director Andrew Bansta brings you the high school football highlights in this weekend's Final Drive. Well, good Saturday morning, and thanks for waking up with us today. I'm Michelle Renee Quinn.
And I'm Jacob Manasano. You're watching Weekend Mornings. Today is Saturday, October 11th. And for the first time in a couple weekends, we can actually say it kind of feels like it is out, like where it's supposed to be out there.
We've been waiting for that, right?
Yeah, last year it still felt like, or last weekend it still felt like summer, but it feels a lot more like fall right now. Let's start by taking a look outside. Here's a live view from Blattville showing plenty of sunshine. This is going to be the story much of the day. Now, the current temperatures are definitely on the cooler side. As we take a look at the current conditions, some areas are in the middle 30s, especially for areas just north of Madison. Actually got close to freezing for a few isolated locations. Now, there was a frost advisory until 8 a.m., but as you can see, that has expired. So not expecting to see that frost continue. And the next couple of nights, we're not going to see temperatures quite this cool for the lows. So I don't expect to see the frost advisories continue for the next couple of nights. Now, after this morning chill, we are going to warm up pretty nicely into the middle 60s. Plenty of sunshine, calm winds. This will really be the story for just about everyone. Here's a look at La Crosse's forecast. Middle to upper 60s for highs, calm winds, a lot of sunshine, a very nice fall day. A little bit more cloud cover closer to Lake Michigan, but certainly not going to see any rainfall. Now, Sunday is also looking good, so I'll talk more about that later and also show you our next chance of rain, all still coming up later in the show.
All right, thank you, Jacob. We'll be checking back in shortly. Well, topping our news this morning, the federal trial dates have been set for the former Sun Prairie dean accused of child sex crimes. Robert Gilkey Messengeyer will appear in a federal court on April 27th of next year. The trial is expected to last 3 days. In August, a federal grand jury indicted Gilkey Messengeyer on charges of producing, attempting to produce, and possessing child sexual abuse materials. He has pled not guilty to those charges. You're taking a live look now at the White House, where President Trump outlined parts of the peace deal that both Israel and Hamas agreed to. The 72-hour countdown for Hamas to release all remaining Israeli hostages has begun, and Christian Benavides brings you the latest.
A ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is now in effect, and the clock is ticking for Hamas to release the Israeli hostages being held in Gaza, both dead and alive. Families anxiously await their return.
It's a guarded optimism because it's the kind of optimism that's born out of heartbreaking experience. We hold our hope lightly because we've had our hopes dashed before.
Yossi Sharabi is among those hostages who is believed to have died in captivity.
He was killed in January of 2024, and since that time we've been waiting to get his body back for the dignified burial that he's been denied so far.
President Trump remains optimistic about the peace deal he brokered and is traveling to the region on Monday.
No, I think they're all tired of fighting, and this really gives the whole Middle East. This is beyond Gaza. Gaza is very important, but this is beyond Gaza. This is peace in the Middle East.
In Gaza, Israeli troops are moving out of Gaza City and other population centers as part of the ceasefire deal. Tens of thousands of Palestinians are packing up their makeshift camps to return home for the first time in 2 years. We are tired, this man said. Thank God we are going back. Many are returning to their homes reduced to rubble and ruin. Much of Gaza will need to be rebuilt. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
Meanwhile, the president's threat of tariffs again on China sends Wall Street into a tailspin Friday. The Dow loses 879 points. The Nasdaq tumbles a massive 3.5%, down 820 points. And the S&P 500 falls almost 183.
It felt like the NLDS was locked up. With a 2-0 lead in the Brewers' first ever postseason meeting with the Cubs, all they needed to do was win one game. But they haven't yet. The Cubs swung all the momentum to Chicago in games 3 and 4, setting up the second best words in sports, game 5.
I admire our team. I have faith in our team. And I think this had to happen this way. There'll be no tougher environment to play in than they just did. This is a good prep for us. And I think, we'll be ready to play. I'm certain we'll be ready to play in game 5.
That's fun. You want to play in big games like this. You want to play in these atmospheres, and You know, we're division rivals. We've seen a lot of each other over the years and a lot of big games.
The Brewers are down to one last chance to put away the Cubs, upping the stakes for that Game 5. It's today at AmFam Field. First pitch is at 7:08. Winner will get the Dodgers. And tomorrow we'll have those highlights. In the Coulee, a judge is sentencing a 41-year-old lacrosse man in connection to a shooting at Pettibone Park. Jared Duddles pleads no contest to weapons and disorderly conduct charges. He's accused of firing a shotgun toward the river after a verbal argument. The judge says if Duddles doesn't get arrested for 90 days, he'll vacate a 6-month jail sentence. In the town of Campbell, the first municipal well is finished being drilled. Now, this marks the first phase in an effort to bring residents clean water. Nearly 5 years ago, contaminants were found in a shallow water aquifer, forcing residents to rely on bottled water. The new well reaches into a deeper aquifer known as Mount Simon. One resident says while she doesn't want a municipal water system, it could be the best option.
I don't see any other options at this point, and you know, my hope is that we can become our own community, supply our own water.
On Monday, the town begins tests, including a 24-hour pump test over a 2-day period. Officials say federal and state funding help support this project. Let's check in now again with Jacob Montesano live from our studio in Madison. What are we forecasting for this weekend?
Well, overall, it's going to be a very nice weekend. Very fall-like, but still above normal for this time of the year. Middle to upper 60s today, near 70 for highs tomorrow. A little bit more cloud cover tomorrow with some breezy conditions, but very hard to complain about this weekend forecast. Now, looking specifically at the Badger football game, definitely going to be a chilly one with a 6 p.m. start time. We'll start in the lower 60s, cooling down into the 50s. Definitely bring a jacket if you plan on attending. And further north for the Packers game, it will be a bit warmer considering the start time will be at 3:25. But both situations, we're going to see mostly clear skies, a little bit more cloud cover tomorrow, maybe some very, very light rain at the end of the Packers game, but don't expect to see much. Now, it's time for your morning motivational quote. Michelle Renee right here found it on Instagram today.
Yes, I did. You are worthy right now. Worth isn't saved for when you're better or have it figured out.
Now, if you're the author of this quote and you happen to be watching, definitely let us know. Take some credit for it.
We will give you the creds.
A good choice today for sure.
Thank you. I saw it scrolling and I was like, we need to tell our viewers, we need to remind them that they are worthy. So here's your reminder. You don't have to have it all figured out. After the break, Will Loper has the 3 things you need to watch, so stick with us. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back. Here's a look at the 3 things you need to know. A dry and comfortable weekend is expected with a few showers by the time we get to early Monday. More rain chances towards the end of next week, but there's not any big rainfalls in the foreseeable future. Now, looking at the chance of rain, certainly not going to see anything today. Could see a few clouds or a little bit more cloud cover in general tomorrow with some very light showers further northwest near La Crosse. Any rain that does fall will be very light. And as we get to the overnight hours, we're going to continue to see the chance of rain. This time it may get It may move into southern Wisconsin. Again, mostly light, maybe some pockets of moderate rain here and there, maybe some rumbles of thunder. But for the most part, this is just going to be a few light showers, mainly occurring for southern Wisconsin late tonight into late Sunday night into Monday morning. And then by Monday afternoon, most of it will be cleared out of the area, but we'll continue to see some cloudy skies. Beyond that, Tuesday looks dry, maybe some rain returning Tuesday night. Again, we're just going to continue to see a few small chances of rain. In general, the better chances of rain will be further west along the Mississippi and west of Wisconsin entirely. This is going to be the case for later Wednesday and Thursday. Once we get to Thursday night and Friday, maybe a little bit of a better chance of rain across southern Wisconsin, but still not expected to see much. Now, during all this, temperatures will fluctuate a little bit, but for the most part, we're going to see continuous highs in the 60s. Could hit 70 tomorrow, maybe Monday as well. But for the most part, highs are going to be in the 60s just about every day going forward. Here's a full look at the 10-day forecast. A little bit cooler for the middle of next week, where highs will be in the lower 60s. Then we'll rise into the upper 60s, maybe low 70s once we get towards the end of next week and into next weekend. Potentially some cooler temperatures following that chance of rain over the weekend. But in general, not going to see any big rains like I mentioned. The Badgers and Packers game looking pretty good as this weekend as a whole looking very good. So pretty fall-like and quiet forecast, although there are a lot of days where there could be some rain. Nothing is going to be too big at this point, and the temperatures not going to be too far off from normal. Not going to be too warm, not going to be too cold compared to normal. So, you know, it's just a pretty quiet and I'd say overall solid fall forecast.
And it's good football weather, you know, not too cold because it'll get to worse football weather.
And you definitely want it to be a little chilly because that makes it feel more like football.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I cannot agree more.
Yeah.
Well, there's clearly no shortage of films and shows streaming.
Our Will Loper shares a few of the best in this weekend's 3 Things to Watch.
Laura here's an award-winning journalist. She's doing a piece for us on the Foundation. I know this is an unusual approach to charity. 3 days on a luxury yacht.
Watch a psychological thriller with The Woman in Cabin 10, newly streaming on Netflix.
Someone's gone overboard.
Who did she see?
It's the woman next door, the woman from the cabin there.
She said it was from Cabin 10.
Yes, sir, that's what's so unusual.
I was backing in, I turned around and
never a guest staying in here, Miss Blackie.
Keira Knightley plays a journalist who sees a body go overboard, but is told all the passengers are accounted for.
Now, Laura, you were convinced what you saw was real?
It was real.
Oh.
All right, everyone, circle up. We have a down plane 2 miles south from here. It is used to move inmates around the country.
Head to Alaska with The Last Frontier, newly streaming on Apple TV+.
Remnick? Sydney Schofield. CIA. Padlock's out there executing a plan. Do whatever it takes to secure the perimeter.
Schofield, this is Alaska. There is no perimeter.
Jason Clarke plays a lone U.S. Marshal tracking down escaped inmates after their transport plane crashes. And take to the sky with the 2025 film How to Train Your Dragon, newly streaming on Peacock.
Maybe they're not as bad as we think they are.
In case you forgot, our parents' war is about to become ours. Figure out which side you're on.
The live-action remake of A Boy Who Befriends a Dragon may be a nearly identical retread of the animated film, but it's still a wonderfully entertaining and emotional film experience. Those are the 3 things you need to watch, and this is Will Loper for Weekend Mornings.
That second one, CIA, FBI, BAU, it does not matter. Whatever crime chasing, I love those shows, movies, you name it.
I feel like, especially our generation, just loves like anything that's surrounded in mystery.
Yes.
And whether it's horror or crime stories, I just feel like we eat that stuff up.
We do, and I feel I blame it on true crime podcasts.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
those
That's
were really popular as I was leaving high school, going into college, that time frame, and people are still really interested in them.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of makes the fantasy part of it a little bit more interesting.
There's still a lot of those right now, those podcasts.
Oh man, and they're scary. They are scary.
They're
That's the
interesting,
horror movie for real.
They're interesting.
Still ahead on Weekend Mornings, sports director Andrew Banstra is bringing you the highlights in this weekend's Final Drive. And stick around, later we're sharing new details on the shooting that left 1 dead Friday morning. You're watching Weekend Mornings. Stick with us. We're back right after this.
Welcome into week 8 of the high school football season. I'm Andrew Banstra, and this is the Final Drive. This time of the year is where you get the games that have been building up all season long, and this This is one of them. Undefeated Edgewood putting their best season in a long time to the test against Mount Horeb, who has not lost since week 1. Throw in the fact that the winner gets at least a share of the Badger Small title, and you've got a surefire game of the week on your hands. We pick things up in the second half, tied at a baker's dozen apiece, and Edgewood, who's having their best season in a decade, pulled away. Their QB, Gannon Bagstead, how good has this kid been? That good. Takes it to the house himself, putting his Crusaders up by a touchdown. But he can do it through the air, too. Bagstead rears back on the run and lets it rip, unleashing one for his man, Ben Morey. Get this, Morey transferred from MHB to Edgewood, and this here was his 3rd touchdown catch of the evening. The Crusaders take a 2-score lead. MHB, though, they wouldn't go down easy. The captain, Eli Meyer, fools everyone, including the cameraman, and he's off to the races. But Edgewood, how about this? They stay undefeated, and they edge out a win 27-20, and we send it over to Nash, who had our game of the night.
Yeah, Andrew, our game of the night was good as always with the Glarner Knights of New Glarus on the road against the red-hot River Valley Blackhawks. River Valley, the winners of their past 6, whereas New Glarus started off 6-0 and just suffered their first loss of the season last week. A game that has big implications for the Southwest Conference. Both teams are 6-1 with 1 game left in the regular season. A River Valley win tonight would secure a share of the Southwest Conference for the Blackhawks. And RV started out with some highway robbery. Keegan Heiser tips it up and brings it down, turning the Knights over and turning it into points. Lucas Klein on 4th and goal fires a laser to a crossing Jordan Gouger, and just like that, the Blackhawks were on top. But if we learn anything about the New Glarus, they can sling the rock. Matt Roth rips one to Will Pinau, who hits the gas, and the Glarner Knights get the huge win by only 1 point, 31-30. Back to you, Andrew.
Nash, talk about a couple of great games, and we're just getting started. We've still got 6 more to go. It's been a while since we've seen Middleton, so here's the scoop on the Cardinals. They have not lost since week 1, and a few weeks ago they snapped Verona's behemoth Big 8 winning streak. The Cardinals could very well win out, but Madison La Follette, they've got something to say about that. The Lancers weren't planning on going down without a fight. We picked things up in the first half, and the Cardinals, well, they were already flying high. La Follette trying to get something started, but it's a fumble. Reed Falk forces the fumble, and Oliver Wenning scoops it and wills his way to the end zone. Middleton just getting started. Later on, they'd get it done with the offense. The QB, Joey Passaglia, fools everybody, scooting in for the score, and Middleton wins it big, 56-7, the final. We are right around the corner from the postseason, making games like these mean more than ever. Janesville, Craig, and Madison West are tied for 3rd place in the Big 8, and a win this evening for either side could put that bronze medal on ice. And more importantly, all but certainly lock up a playoff spot. We pick things up in the second half. West leading Craig 10-6. The Regents looking to add to that lead. Nicholas Ruth, he pulls it out on the play action, putting it where only his man Kavarian Johnson can bring it in. West adds some insurance, but later, and why does it always seem to come down to the special teams? Craig punting it away, but Malachi Schoonover, he just can't secure the ball. The Regents can't help but take advantage of it as they take a huge swing of momentum, and that guy Ruth, baby, was he back at it. He rams it into the end zone and helps West win a big one, 24-14, the final score. Checking out some scores from elsewhere, Lodi beats Beloit Turner 28-14, and Wanakee stays perfect. They get DeForest by a big margin, 52-14. It has been a tale of 2 stories. Milton, they've been menaces this season. They've only lost once, and that was to a good Monona Grove group. Sun Prairie East, too, have been magnificent. A team that you don't want to see, but it hasn't resulted in the same success. A defensive game in the first half would only see 14 points on the board, 7 on both sides for the Cardinals and the Redhawks. But the first half would open up with an awesome scramble from QB1, who would leap the defender, amping up that Milton offense. Later on, the Redhawks, well, they'd find Jack Cummins on the deep route, and he sets it up for the easy score. The quarterback would fake the handoff, And watch this, he just runs it on in right there at the Bank of Sun Prairie Stadium. And Milton just barely squeaks by Sun Prairie East. They take it by 4 points, 32-28. What a season it's been for Sauk Prairie. The Eagles have flown to a 5-2 record, looking to make it 6 tonight in Stoughton. But don't let the Vikings' 3-4 record fool you. They know how to move the chains. But this game, it was all about defense. Stoughton getting stingy on the opposite side of the ball. How about this? This one of 5 turnovers in the first half. Matthew Boubon with these sticky fingers. But eventually, something had to give, and it gave in the way of Sauk Prairie. The Eagles keep on flying high thanks to Wyatt Gibbs. Look at number 3 move. He moves his squad to their 6th win of the season as Sauk Prairie takes it 24-0. McFarland, they've got their shields up. With their back against the wall after starting 1-4, the Spartans stood tall, winning 2 in a row. A battle of the wills in this one, though. A chance to stay alive in the Rock Valley race for that conference title. Going against Jefferson, whose 4-3 record puts them on the brink of a berth in the postseason under the lights and the moon. And Bentley Wagner, Jefferson's running back, he's going 100 down the highway. He could go all the way, and he does, but McFarland, they've got a ground game too. Jaden Bloodsaw knifing through the Eagle defense to respond with a score of his own. But back to that Jefferson ground game, let me tell you, they've got a couple of high-speed vehicles in the garage. This time they hand off to Connor Watucky. And let me tell you, he finds his way to the end zone. They score, and Jefferson keeps on winning. They take it 47-35.
As a reminder, the Packers will be at home facing off against Cincinnati on Sunday afternoon. You can catch the game right here on WISC TV, kicking off at 3:25. It also marks the start of CBS Premiere Week and our first warm weather special, Winter Ready. After the game, we'll have a special report on Madison's new vape ban. But before we head to break, we're going to show you last night's winning numbers, and Jacob's got a weather tease too.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing a good weekend forecast. All the full details will coming up.
This morning, new details in the shooting that left 1 man dead.
Plus, it's looking like a very good weekend across southern Wisconsin. I'll have the full forecast coming up.
Plus, new developments in Viroqua, how the city is prioritizing its residents. Well, hello and good morning. Thanks for waking up with us today. I'm Michelle Renee Quinn, your weekend morning anchor.
And I'm meteorologist Jacob Montesano. You're watching Weekend Mornings. Today is Saturday, October 11th. Feeling a lot more like October than it did last week.
Oh, yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's not going to be nice out. It's going to be a pretty good weekend.
Okay, I hope it heats up a little bit because I was shivering in the car.
Yeah, it definitely is a very cold morning. Let's take a look outside. Here's a live view from Platteville, and you can see 46 degrees is the current temperature, but also seeing plenty of sunshine, barely any clouds in the sky. That's going to be the story for much of the day. Now, some areas definitely cold at this time. How about 32 in Camp Douglas, right at freezing? There was a frost advisory across central Wisconsin this morning. That has expired, but still could see some frost for about another hour. But these temperatures are going to warm up very nicely today. We're going to have highs in the middle 60s with plenty of sunshine and very little wind, so it may feel a little bit warmer than those middle 60s. And this is going to be the case for just about everybody. Here's a look at La Crosse's forecast, middle to upper 60s again with very little wind, and across the board highs will be in that middle 60 range, and very few locations will see clouds, let alone rain. There will be more cloud cover near Lake Michigan, but south central and southwestern Wisconsin certainly going to see a lot of sunshine today, and we're also going to see a lot of sunshine tomorrow. So I'll talk more about that and show you our next chance of rain coming up a bit later.
All right, thanks, Jacob. I'm looking forward to that sun. Well, topping our news this morning, the federal trial dates have been set for the former Sun Prairie dean accused of child sex crimes. Robert Gilkey Messengeyer will appear in a federal court on April 27th of next year. The trial is expected to last 3 days. In August, a federal grand jury indicted Gilkey Messengeyer on charges of producing, attempting to produce, and possessing child sexual abuse materials. He has pled not guilty to those charges. Now to a follow-up after a shooting Thursday night at Dutch Mill Mobile Homes left one man dead Friday morning. Madison police arrived for reports of a verbal disturbance around 9 p.m. Officers say they saw a man with a gunshot wound. He died at the scene. We spoke with Madison Police Chief John Patterson about the incident and whether there has been an increase of crime in the city.
We are trending behind where we were last year, so we're about 11% down when it comes to shots fired. So while clearly this week is demanding a lot of our attention, a lot of our energy, we overall are still trending in a good place.
Anyone with information or camera footage is being asked to call Madison Police or the Madison Area Crime Stoppers to remain anonymous. And the woman accused of attacking a Madison Metro bus driver, causing the bus to crash into a local restaurant, has been sentenced. On August 13th, Raven Johnson pleaded guilty to second-degree recklessly endangering safety and attempted battery to a public transit operator. She is sentenced to 3 years in prison and is also banned from any Madison Metro property, including buses. In February, Johnson attacked a driver, causing him to lose control and crash into the Asian House restaurant with the bus. In more top stories, a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is now in effect, and the clock is ticking for Hamas to release the Israeli hostages being held in Gaza, both dead and alive. President Trump remains optimistic about the peace deal he brokered and is traveling to the region on Monday. In Gaza, Israeli troops are moving out of Gaza City and other population centers as part of the ceasefire deal. Tens of thousands of Palestinians are packing up their makeshift camps to return home for the first time in 2 years. In more news around the state this morning, the Big Ten is teaming up with healthcare technologies company Abbott for a second year of the We Give Blood blood drive for local communities. We Give Blood is an annual competition among Big Ten schools to see who can donate the most blood throughout the college football season. Over 30,000 people have donated already, which is 10,000 more than last year's total. Wisconsin is in the lead right now, but needs your help to stay ahead of second-place Nebraska.
It's incredibly easy to give blood, and you're making a huge impact. The U.S. is currently experiencing some of the worst blood shortages we've seen in a generation. The more people that donate, the more lives that are being saved. Each donation saves up to 3 lives, and blood is needed every 2 seconds in the U.S.
To join in on the competition, just go to big10.com/Abbott and enter your zip code to find the nearest donation spots. Once you donate, you can choose which school to send your vote to, and in return, you'll get a special edition t-shirt for your contribution. The Madison Housing Coalition is partnering with AARP Wisconsin. The collaboration is part of Madison Housing Week. The event runs from October 19th through the 25th. It's an opportunity for all Madisonians to learn and advocate for affordable housing solutions as the city continues to grow. AARP Wisconsin says it's focused on more housing choices.
We know that a large majority of the population in Wisconsin and in Madison are 1- and 2-person households living in 3- and 4-bedroom homes that just don't need that much space. And particularly as you grow older, you just need a much smaller space to take care of and maintain.
AARP supports zoning changes and ordinances that allow for more affordable housing options, including the ability for people to build granny flats on their property. Those are structures where aging loved ones can live instead of being pushed out into nursing homes. Viroqua is celebrating a new 65-unit workforce housing development. Officials held a ribbon-cutting ceremony for Main Street Apartments, which includes affordable housing, retail space, and a 6,000-square-foot child care facility. The La Crosse-based VARC will run the Bumble and Bloom Early Learning Center, which will serve about 65 children ages 6 weeks to 6 years. City leaders say the child care center addresses a desperate need for working families.
Very often, we are the first in a community to be doing something like this. So early on in the process, what we prioritize is meeting with residents, community members, stakeholders to discuss kind of our initial concept and make sure that that matches the local fabric of the community.
North Point Development got support from the state and the city of Viroqua for this project. Now, imagine every penny you spend on a new house could help children battling cancer. Well, it can. Thanks to local builder Victory Homes and First Weber, St. Jude Hospital and Research Center will get every penny penny of the proceeds from this home in Waunakee. Now, we got an exclusive look at this gorgeous property on Wind Drive.
Pressure's a privilege, right? Like there's a lot of pressure when you're doing something for these little kids. And we wanted to make sure that we were doing it right, so, but it's been great. Very rewarding.
While the house isn't part of the full parade of homes, realtors will be hosting showings during the fall parade of homes, which is all this weekend and next. The house is 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, with a gym and a wet bar in the basement, and it's on sale for $1.4 million. You can head to channel3000.com for a more complete video tour of the home. News 3 Now is a proud sponsor of this project and will be sure to keep you updated as soon as the home sells. And don't forget, every penny going to a good cause. Still to come on Weekend Mornings, I sit down with the founder of Justice for a Cure, and we're talking about a special event to raise cancer awareness happening next Saturday.
Plus, this weekend looking like a very good fall weekend out there. How the full forecast coming up. Keep it here.
You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Welcome back. Joining me today is Joan. Now, you are hosting an event, or a part of a group that's hosting an event next weekend. What can you tell us about this special walk?
Well, Bartles Tap has an event almost every October, and it's called Never Give Up the Fight. And this year, what's different is, along with their pool tournament and silent auction, they're going to have an evening walk, and it's around the beautiful historic downtown Monroe Square. So we're really excited about that. There's not many walks that people have that are in the evening. So everybody's going to get a t-shirt, everybody's going to get a glow light. So we're really looking forward to it.
Now, what is the fight that we're talking about today, and why do we want to raise awareness?
I started this 18 years ago. It was when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. You know, when I was planning my retirement from law enforcement. That's where the Justice for the Cure comes in. And so I wanted to do something to help others. It maybe started with my breast cancer, but it's about all cancers. So the money that we raised, and Bartles Tap is one of the biggest fundraisers that we have, it helps support the badly needed research. And that's the majority where all of our money goes. UW Carbone Cancer Center, it goes to Mayo Cancer Research, and it goes to St. Jude's. And we have some other support programs that our money goes to, but those are the top 3, and that's so important for so many different kinds of cancer.
Absolutely.
And some people think that, you know, even a little bit. We had one gentleman last year, he donated his coins that he collected, you know, over the years, and they always say it's not very much. You know, every little penny helps.
Yes.
It all helps, you know, and
does.
it's like, again, it's about helping all cancer research for all kinds of cancer.
Absolutely. And then participants can come and they'll also get this cool shirt, Never Give Up the Fight, to show that they were also helping support as well.
I know, it's cool.
It is cool. It is cool. And how can people give back?
Mail us a check or come down to Bartles and drop something off there. They're always collecting money for Justice for a Cure throughout the year, because they too, in that community, have been touched with cancer as well.
Okay. Now, you said that you're a survivor yourself. Do you have a message for anybody who might be thinking, oh, should I go out? Should I support? Anything that you would like to tell people, like, hey, next Saturday, meet us here, join us?
Next Saturday, you got to come down to Monroe. The Bartles event starts Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You know, like I said, they have a silent auction all weekend and whatnot. But the walk is really the keynote for me that, you know, is so different, and I hope people really come out. It's just going to be a nice community event, and the more there, I you know, like everybody gets this great big glow light that, you know, it's so cool, and it's just a beautiful area, and I hope we have a lot of support that comes out. You know, come down for the day and stay for the night for the 6 o'clock walk. That's going to be awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
And now we're going to send it over to Jacob with your weather.
Thanks, Michelle Renee. Here's a look at the 3 things you need to know. We're going to see dry and comfortable conditions this weekend. Some showers are then possible early Monday. Rain shouldn't be too heavy, with more rain chances towards the end of next week as well. But before I talk about that, let's take a look at the updated fall color report. A lot of northern Wisconsin at or at least near peak. Still not there in southern Wisconsin, but don't worry, we are going to see a pretty good fall color season. It just is expected to be a little bit later than normal this year. Probably not till the very end of the month and early November. Now, as we take a look at the weekend forecast here, very nice. Plenty of sunshine, middle 60s today, near 70 for Sunday, a little bit more cloud cover and a little bit of a breeze, but both days are going to be very comfortable, especially during those afternoon hours. Now, as we track our next chance of rain, certainly not going to see anything today. Could see some very light showers further northwest near La Crosse on Sunday, but any rain that falls will be very light. And that very light rain may continue into Sunday night and also may begin to impact southern Wisconsin late Sunday night into Monday morning. Again, any rain will be light, maybe some pockets of moderate rain, maybe some rumbles of thunder, but overall this is not going to be a big issue. Once we get to Monday afternoon, some sprinkles may continue, mainly for areas to the east, as cloud cover will continue for southern Wisconsin throughout the day on Monday, with some clearer skies later in the day Monday for areas near La Crosse. Now, beyond that, we'll see a few on and off rain chances. We'll see another rain chance Tuesday night, and then the best chance of rain in the future will be towards the end of next week into next weekend. And any rain that does fall will actually be some pretty welcoming news, because as we take a look at the most recent drought monitor, a lot of Wisconsin now at abnormally dry. We haven't really seen a lot of rainfall over the last 2 months at this point, and far southern Wisconsin is actually in a small moderate drought. So definitely would like to see some more rain across our area. Could potentially see that towards the end of next week, but a lot can change between now and then. So it's a little difficult to say if we are going to see an abundance of it. But right now it doesn't look like a slam dunk that we would. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. But until then, just some light rain, and it being this dry this time of the year is not as bad as it being this dry in the spring. So that is the other thing to consider. But we certainly have seen some pretty dry weather, but at least, conditions have been pretty good. They've been very warm. Now they're a little bit more fall-like, but still very comfortable nonetheless.
Seasonable, if you will.
Yes, exactly.
Well, time for our morning motivation, which I found on Instagram yesterday, so I don't know exactly who said it first, but Jacob is going to say it now.
You are worthy right now. Worth isn't saved for when you're better or have it figured out. And I like this quote because, a lot of people may think that, their life or whatever they're doing is pointless until they reach their goal. But, every part of life gets you to that goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Say it again. Every part of
life gets you to that goal.
It gets you to that goal, and you are worthy. You don't have to have it figured out. So we're sending you off with that, but keep it here because we'll be back right after the break.
You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Starting on Wednesday, we're getting you and your pet ready for winter. In just a few short days, you can meet Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington's dog, Loki, and find out how the amount of snow can impact his allergies.
When we have these warmer winters, we do see pets with allergies that are maybe itchy longer, maybe that have more like skin infections and ear infections.
You can join the First Warn Weather Team Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. for more tips on how to get your pets winter ready right here on Channel 3. And another day, another record broken by Miss Taylor Swift. The single, The Fate of Ophelia, from her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, has broken Spotify's record for most streams in a single week. Now, this isn't the only Spotify record Swift has broken. The Fate of Ophelia had the most streams in a single day. The previous most streamed song was Fortnight, which is by none other than Swift herself. Her latest release became this year's most streamed album in a single day within 12 hours of its release on October 3rd. And
sorry to interrupt. I have to update that because it's actually the most streamed album ever in a single day.
Yes, I was going to say, Jacob just gave me the real facts.
Yeah.
She's breaking more records. Go ahead, tell us.
Yeah, she is easily the biggest artist in the world. And for those that may think, okay, whatever, Here are some facts to tell you otherwise. She has the 4 biggest days in Spotify's history, and that just came in the last 2 years. Anyway, I'm a big Swiftie, so I got to geek out a little bit. Anyway, let's take a look at the Badger football game forecast. It is going to be a bit chilly because the game is going to start at 6 p.m. Lower 60s to start, 50s by the end. Definitely bring a light jacket. Packers game is looking a little bit better with 60s in the forecast. A good amount of sunshine with a little bit more cloud cover towards the end of the game. Maybe a light shower at the end of the Packers game, but for the most part, it should stay dry. Tonight's Badgers game almost certainly going to be dry. And we have our Badger picks right after this, so keep it here. This is Weekend Mornings.
You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Welcome back. Today's playlist pick is You Spin Me Around by Dead or Alive. And because of copyright issues, we cannot play it right now. But Patricia sent this in, so I'm very happy to share it this morning. She says it's her favorite dance song. So please be sure to send me a song to Mr. Quinn at WISC TV. I love sharing those. And now we got to talk about the Badgers. That kickoff is today.
Unfortunately, we have to talk about them. It's not been a rough... It's football Badgers, we should say. Other Badger sports have been very good this year, but not
Yes,
the football one,
the
which
Badgers are
does
a
get the
little-
most attention.
It does get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And we'll show you our predictions right now. I'm predicting a Badger win. Fingers crossed, manifesting that good offense.
I unfortunately do think Iowa's going to win. I actually will be at the game today, but I'm also going to be tied to my phone a little bit because Cubs Brewers is at the exact same time. I planned this game months ago, so who knew that
that your favorite team would make it to the postseason.
or let alone play this game. And if you remember, we sat on the couch last week and I was saying this is going to be a very close series. And I do have to point out, a lot of Brewers fans got very confident after 2 games.
They did.
And now it's pretty much 50-50.
Okay, relax,
So,
Cubbo.
I'm just saying. I'm only saying, I mean, look, I'm nervous for this game as a Cubs fan, but I'm just saying Brewers fans were very confident, and now it's about a 50-50 chance for both.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching Weekend Mornings. Up next is Mission Unstoppable. Our next newscast is coming up at 6 p.m. and you can find us streaming 24/7 on channel3000.com.